Nothing. Hardly calcium. I know nothing. Love a glass of wine, right? But Ireland is going to have to face all of that. The drugs, the drugs are extraordinary. Yeah. There were just 3 guys convicted over there now. 62 kilos floating in a bay, in the most beautiful bay in County Cork. 62 kilos worth $4 billion on the street. It was 78% pure heroin. Pure. Like, it's as pure as it gets. And they were caught. They got into trouble, and their boat started to sink, and they had to call for help. And the Coast Guards came and saw these things, their property, and took one up and realized these are drug smugglers. This is just
something you never would have heard of.
Never, ever, ever, ever. And that's only one. Only one. But they got there. Yeah, but anyway. So that's a big change. But they'll have to learn to cope with it. There is a lot of sadness there too, on account of the suicides are very rate is hard over there. It's tough. So who knows what all that's all about. I don't know why we weren't committing suicide when I was young, because we had nothing. Now they have all the stuff. What are they going to do?
Now they're doing.
Sorry, I jest.
We didn't touch, you kind of said a little bit, but we didn't ever really talk about the troubles that were in the North when you were growing up. How aware were you of that?
None. Not at all. Because again, my father, I think, kept it from us. Our house was burnt during the Black and Tan time. Now, why that happened, I don't know. But my mom was alive at that point, so we were born, and they came to burn it down. I guess because my dad was in the Dáil, yeah. And so that happened, but we were never made. My dad never. He was a very calm, intelligent man. Would not confuse us with stuff that. It wasn't that he was silent about it either. It's just that he wasn't.
Were you at home when the house was burned?
My mom would have been put out on the. Yeah.
What memory do you have of that? Do you have a memory of that at all?
I have no memory. I would know if it was happening, but I have no memory. I would have been maybe just barely in pram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just.
But I think everybody's house got. If you were on one side or the other, if you were Fianna Fáil, I think that's what caused it. People who are much more well versed in that subject would know why we were burnt. Yeah. I don't know. De Valera came and stayed in our house.
Wow.
Away, yeah. Over. I think he was trying to be, what do you call it, hiding. He needed to get away too, and he'd say we had some fabulous portraits of him, ink drawings that I remember that are all gone. We had no respect for them. You see, my mom dying, some good stuff would have disappeared, just gone. Like my dad's medals that he won in the Dáil for speaking, they were all stolen.
They were stolen?
When we were little. Housekeepers, people coming in, could never keep track of anything like that. Even though his name was on them, so they probably melted them down. But that was sad. But it's okay, we survived. It's not.
So what happened?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. Good. Sorry. Because he's able to edit all this and clear it up.
No, nothing is edited. No.
Oh, stop.
So the house was rebuilt, obviously.
It was.
Just a matter, of course, of the day.
Yeah.
I have to ask your opinion now. Do you think that we're finally to the point where there's going to be a peaceful coexistence between the North and the South?
Totally.
Yes.
And what made it is the South became rich. They don't want to fight anymore and get their stuff taken from them. When you're poor, you can do a lot of fighting because you have nothing to lose. And so the South became rich. That's when it all, in my opinion, what is it? But the fact that, when we began to get rich in the south of Ireland, when Irish, I wasn't part of it now indeed, because I was here, but once the South, then the peace, they could talk peace.
Yeah.
It was not going to happen as long as Ireland was poor. They were going to be fighting. And they were jealous, and there was that whole, now suddenly they have all the riches. They don't need to fight. They don't need to fight.
It's very interesting.
That's what I really, you could see it happening, because none of us want to fight and lose what we've attained. But if you're poor, you have nothing to lose. Yes.
Now, we're at about the end of our interview, but when you were thinking about this after I called you, was there anything that you thought, I want to make sure I mention that we haven't covered here that you would like to say? Because make sure I get everything that you wanted to say.
I think you've been very, very good. I really, I think if I haven't said it, it's okay. I think it's okay. I think I've exhausted the ears of my audience.
You did become a United States citizen.
The moment I was here 5 years, my fingerprints were in the mail, registered. I was very, no, he did them. And suddenly he wasn't becoming, I was first. I became right off the, and then I told him, call up, register any mail, write to them, see. He registered finally a letter to them, and he was called within a year or two after me,
Yeah.
but I became. We had to, living in Poundridge, your vote was critical. If I was going to be a businesswoman in Poundridge, my vote was, it had to have a vote.
Yes.
Being the Republican town it is, so I had to even become a Republican. Didn't necessarily have to vote, but it's okay, you know. I can take my pick. Yes.
That's
So
the interesting about the system.
it's okay. It is. Yeah.
Well, Teresa,
So,
I thank you so much for coming.
well, thank
sitting down with
you.
us,
You are
and,
so delightful, all of you.
well,
Thank
have been
you.
very delightful too.
Yeah,
We really
it's been
appreciate
great. Are you doing all this writing over here and all
Yeah.
this poor little thingy?
it.
Yes, you are. You're great.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.